So we're just going to touch upon a topic now, which is based on business value. And business value is quite important because as a project manager, you should really know what you are actually trying to lead on. Now, a lot of the topics that you're going to see between today, tomorrow, is mostly on leadership now. Leadership and like team working, collaboration, all this stuff. So it's important as a project manager that you're able to communicate the vision effectively. So if a team member asks you the question, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this specific project? You can answer specifically, this is the reason. And remember, business value comes in all shapes and forms. It could be a financial gain for the company. It could be the fact that we're gaining new customers. It could be something to do with social, first to mark, anything along these lines. So it's important that you have this kind of mindset in place that any one of these things could, could be there, and it just doesn't have to be one or two things. Technological improvement, Chat GPT, everything that's going on in there has a big part to play. These things. So it's a good thing to note. So in some instances, when it comes to that, you have to deliver accordingly to the to the circumstances. If it's a social project, there might be certain things that you need to follow specifically. But regardless, in each of these cases, you need to communicate. You need to be able to communicate effectively that business value to the stakeholders, to the team effectively. And the project communications comes in many shapes and forms. Now, you can do face-to-face meetings, you can do presentations, you can do virtual meetings, whatever you'd like. But the main thing is that you stay consistent as a project manager and everyone is up to date in terms of what is going on within the project. So very, very important. And I have to admit, over the years, it's a difficult skill to master, and you have to put a lot of effort into it just to make it there. So yeah, communication types all vary, but you need to put the effort in to get there. And what also is very important is that as a project manager, you can gain the feedback from those individuals. Is the way I'm communicating helpful? Does it help you develop is it informative? Do you understand why we're doing the project? All these things come into play. So it's important that you are communicating effectively. Does that make sense to everyone? What I'm saying here is that you have business value and you need to be able to communicate that business value effectively. So you might do presentations, you might do PowerPoints, you might do meetings, you might do conference, whatever it is, but you have to get that message understood by the team as to why we are doing the project. So that basically means we have to engage our stakeholders. We need to be able to engage those stakeholders, and the stakeholders can be in a variety of categories. And depending on the different categories, we have to engage accordingly. So if we have to engage accordingly, we have to know what is their resistance level. What is their, do they support the project? Are they against the project? Do they want to, or are they just neutral? So this comes underneath a category which is called a stakeholder engagement assessment matrix, which is to identify which stakeholders are supportive, which ones are resistant, and which ones are leading, which ones are neutral. And obviously for the ones which are in the bad side for you, you want to get them engaged so that they become supportive and they become leading at the end of the day. So that's the important things to actually take away. So now, here's a big question. Why is this an important topic? Because projects are all about change. Projects deliver change. And if you cannot engage your stakeholders on a good footing, on a good engagement, Now, when you deliver those changes, they're going to be like, they won't really care. They won't. They won't really want to engage with you. So it comes to it comes to the point whereby the fact that you as a project manager have to understand that, number one, you are delivering change, and the way the change is intercepted by the stakeholders has to be a positive one. There is no other way around this. So it's such a critical topic. So yeah, projects, projects, change is happening all the time, and changes can come because of a regulatory requirement. It could be because we've missed a requirement. It could be that there's some specification changes. It could be anything. But the major thing is, for us project managers, is that we need to be able to follow a system to capture that change. We need to be able to document it. What is it? What is the change through a form? We need to be able to track it in a nice process whereby we can also receive the right level of approvals. So this is called a change management process. Change management process, meaning that if there is a change of a requirement requested, we need to first capture it in a change request form. Then obviously we need to log the change, right? We log it. Now, we need to check the change. Is this change appropriate for the project, for the company? Should we do it? If it's accepted, then we might need to update the project or the deliverable that we're ultimately creating. So what we do in that respect is that we prepare an impact statement. An impact statement can come in a variety of forms. If it's a small change, it's a minor impact. If it's a medium change, it's a moderate. If it's a big change, it's a major. And then we prepare the documentation. We take it to the project sponsor, and we get approval for it. If it's authorized, we build it, we execute it, and we communicate the changes to the rest of the project, and we rebalance the remainder of the scope. And at each and every step, there is a rejection. No, no, no. If it's not accepted, then we need to send the rejection notice back to the to the individual that requested it. So that is a change management process. Now, guys, I have to say, this is a fantastic little system. This is something that I have used in my career. It is something that you should know for the PMP, and it's good for your projects. From anything that you're doing starting from Monday, make sure you follow this process. It's very, very good. Any questions on this? Any questions, any observations? No? Okay, sure. No problem. I've only got a couple more sections, by the way, about 12 more slides. It could be a very early finish. Again, we've only got 3 people in the class today, not too many questions going on. So cool, no problems. Last one, which is the knowledge transfer for project continuity. Now, everything that we've discussed today, now think about it. We spoke about costing this morning. You have a little bit of homework to do on that one. We also spoke about the risk stuff. And then from the risk stuff, we spoke about value, and from the value, how it is interconnected with stakeholders, and how that stakeholders need to accept change, and your communication medium to the stakeholders to accept that change has to be continuously revised so that it is a message which is well received. So that means that change is constantly happening, and then we need to ensure that knowledge which we are capturing through the project, we can capture in a succinct and accurate way, and we can transfer that knowledge. Now, knowledge comes in 2 different formats. One is explicit and one is tacit. Explicit basically means it's formulas, it's structure, it's PowerPoint slides, it's it's been codified, it's written in books, it's it's on the internet, it's on a piece of paper, it's codified, it's written down, there's a structure to it, there's a format to it, it's explicit. Tacit is wisdom, it's experience, it's personal knowledge. You know you know the best way of getting it done. That's tacit. So all this stuff needs to get captured in something called the lessons learned register and the lessons learned document, which is something that we covered last week as well. And remember, this is something that keeps getting said over and over the PMP. You'll notice a common theme, which is that this message keeps getting reaffirmed and reaffirmed, which is that we need to do lessons learned register. We don't do it, we're not doing it, and that's a big problem. We're not doing it. So we need to emphasize the problems. And again, more slides. I mean, just look at the amount of detail just in this. Like, they want you to include positive and negative experiences in the lessons learned register to stop reinventing the wheel. That's the critical thing. That if you stop, if we can pass on the information succinctly and accurately, we can stop this kind of